So, welcome back to another episode, and today I wanted to talk about some things that I've been reading a lot lately, and I've been reading this all over the place, and we have discussions on Twitter about it, and message groups, and all that kinds of stuff, and just in general, even in the comment section, I see this a lot, where a lot of people say, wow, this is the worst generation of video games ever. It's the worst generation of gaming ever. What do you guys think, first of all? Do you think this is the worst generation of video games ever? Do you think that? And why do you think that? If that is the case, I'm curious to hear. I just want to come in and say my bit is that it's funny that there's a lot of video games I don't like, and there's been a lot of games and ideals and things like that over the years I've just absolutely hated, for sure. But there's a lot about video gaming that I love, and that's like I grew up loving video games, and I didn't play the best machines, and I hated the 3DO, and all this kinds of stuff. And people are allowed to have opinions, absolutely, and I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is that, wow, I'm blown away. I absolutely love this generation for video gaming, and I'm going to tell you why. I was kind of hinting at it a second ago. When I grew up, if you had transported me, the young John, if you transported me from the past to now, and I walked into a gaming store, and I saw all of the games nowadays, and how they played, and what was going on, and there was virtual reality around the corner, I would have passed out. If I had shown myself what Final Fantasy 15 just looked like, I would have like, poof, gone. Taking that John who played the first Final Fantasy 1 back in the early 90s, taking him and said, oh, by the way, this is the future of video games. He'd be on the floor. He'd be gone. Get him some smelling salts or whatever. But that's what I'm talking about. It's like, wow, it's, from my point of view growing up, playing the games that I played, is that maybe I'm easily entertained. Really? Maybe I'm just like, oh, wow, the graphics are really cool and the gameplay's awesome. And no, these are some of the best video games I have ever played in my entire life. This is the kinds of stuff that I dreamed about as a kid. And with me, number one, I love retro games more than anything. But I'm not caught in the past. Saying, oh, video games hasn't evolved. Video games has gotten a lot better. I really think so. I really think video games overall has gotten a lot better. I would have dreamed of this kinds of stuff. Like, okay, I want to bring up a controversial game here. It became a bit of a controversial game. Titanfall 2. And a lot of people were complaining about that. I mean, everybody's going apeshit about Titanfall 2. And I understand the arguments that it's different than the first one, all that kind of stuff. Where I played the game and I enjoyed it, and people were mad that I enjoyed it. How could you like this game and all this? And I thought, well, I'm just kind of a casual player of these types of games, like first-person shooters and stuff like that. I'm not very good at those types of games at all, especially against online players. Fuck no. One-player mode, I can do okay. But for me, growing up, I always wanted to play mech games, robot games, any games where I can control a robot, anything like that. I mean, it was the greatest thing ever. I love fucking robots more than anything. And so when I played the Titanfall 2 beta, I liked it. I had a good time because I'm running around in a fucking mech, and then I can jump out of my mech and run around and shoot people. And I mean, that's the basis of this game. That's really what it's about. I would have died to have that as a kid. Maybe I'm more appreciative because I grew up in a time where graphics weren't what they are now. I don't even know what it would be like to grow up in this generation now, and just maybe people are expecting just so much more, and maybe I'm a little bit more easily pleased at times. And yes, I did come onto the internet to do a show that's called The Happy Console Gamer Show about being positive about video games, because for me, I enjoy video games, and I could come in here and just rant and rave every day about negativity and all sorts of things, but I wanted to come in and talk about the positive side of video games, because that's, really, that's why I got into video games. And anyways, back to the whole thing here. is this generation, does it suck? God, no. There's so many games for so many different types of people. It sucks. I mean, like, why does it suck? Is it just what's happening? I think some of the best games ever are coming out. Like, for me being an RPG fan, just for that alone, you know, I got Final Fantasy 15 coming out. You know, Persona 5 is coming out. You know, never mind the other host of, like, amazing RPGs, like Dragon Quest Heroes 2 is coming out. Dragon Quest Builders, which is not an RPG, but a kind of a cool game, and it's a Dragon Quest game. I just got Dragon Quest 7 on the 3DS, for Christ's sakes. I mean, oh my god, look at the amount of RPGs. Look at the amount of just for that alone. Never mind racing games, first-person shooter games, if you like that. And I'm so happy with this generation. On my Xbox One, on my PlayStation 4, I've got it all. I'm very, very lucky. I actually think that I'm lucky. You know, I think I'm lucky. When I get to play Titanfall 2, I thought I was lucky because I was like, wow, I get to run around in a huge mech, and, you know, that was fun to me. I must be easily pleased at times. I must be. I don't know. I think maybe it's a generational thing. As I say, it must be hard growing up now. It must be tough. Must be really hard. There's so much more expectations put on companies and put on games and all of that. And definitely, I talk about that kinds of stuff as well. But I do think this is a great generation of video games. I think there's so many games for so many people. And oh yeah, definitely. I even loved the last generation, and I love the generation before it. I think that we're always going further. I know the big jump in video games isn't always coming like it used to happen. But, you know, for being a video game fan, I think it's a great time to be alive with video games. So I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. Do video games suck this generation? Does this generation of gaming suck in general? Does it? So anyways, guys, until next time.